President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, is assuring Nigerians that the federal government is sparing no efforts to end insecurity in the country. Senator Lawal spoke on Wednesday after receiving an award in the nation's capital. He said all agencies of government had keyed into plans to end all forms of insecurity across the country. Correspondent Margaret Oba has details of this report.
The challenge of insecurity is today the greatest existential threat to the Nigerian nation. Starting as an insurgency in the northeast, the menace has spread and is now a hydra-headed monster that has tentacles in every region of the country. Despite the growing threat, President of the Senate Ahmed Lawal is assuring Nigerians of the federal government's determination to end insecurity in the nation.
We experience a lot of insecurity, that government is not resting, government is not sleeping, government is working hard, and all agencies of government are working hard.
But it should not stop at mere rhetorics. Nigerians are demanding that the federal government must prioritize the fight against insecurity.
Rent cost is very high. Technology has changed, metamorphosized over the years, and the cost has escalated as well because it goes with quality. If you want to buy quality, you spend money to buy quality. And we are working on government to increase the budgets of all the surveying departments to enhance their availability of purchasing this equipment as the technology improves.
One of the sectors hard hit by spiraling insecurity is the surveying sector. Stakeholders believe that the sector could experience massive growth if a fraction of funds being channeled to fight the insecurity could be allocated to the surveying sector for the purchase of up-to-date equipment.
Our major problems are: one, advocacy, lack of awareness, education, of course, paucity of fund, not having enough money to do surveying and mapping and provide the requisite data.
We are hoping that the current leadership will be able to own up the process and unite Nigerians. Once there is unity, insecurity is resolved, we should talk, we should engage, find out what the problems are. It is not beyond us.
All said and done, insecurity has negatively affected all sectors of the Nigerian economy. It is a threat that must be put down so that the Nigerian economy can begin to experience inclusive growth. From Abuja, Margaret Ogbo, Silverbird News 24.
Meanwhile, the Senate has begun beaming its searchlight on a 50 billion naira shortfall in the appropriation for the Nigerian Army. The investigation follows a letter sent to the chairman of the Senate Committee on Army, Senator Ali Ndume. The letter was read during the committee's meeting with representatives of the Ministry of Finance. The permanent secretary, who was represented by the Ministry of Finance, insisted that the release of the Nigerian Army budget was 100%. In the light of this, a member of the committee, Senator Abamoru, suggested that the Finance Ministry and the Nigerian Army meet to discuss the shortfall and how much funds would be needed to prosecute the war against Boko Haram through the various operations going on in the country.
2020, 75 billion was appropriated, 74.999, only I think 2 naira was. So almost 100% was released. The current year, 100 billion has been appropriated. We have released 19.7 for the first quarter. Just yesterday, we have released 19.95. It's not there.
If you say you have made a release of 100%, here is a letter indicating that from the time of the introduction of Operation Lafayette Dole, they have a shortfall outstanding of 50 billion. So if you are paying them 100%, how come do they have a shortage of 50 billion? They wrote a letter to me here requesting us to follow up with you.
And so all of us must sit down together and agree on what is required to do this job with the assurance that if this thing is provided, this job must be done. Because I think the issue of insecurity has become a recurring decimal and an embarrassment to this country. And if the stories that we hear every day from all parts of Nigeria is anything to go by, it is only a matter of time that this system that we call Government of Nigeria will collapse.
Now, organized labor has kicked off a national dialogue in Abuja to end ranging banditry and criminality in the country. The security summit has been attended by the state and non-state actors and seeks support for efforts by the federal government to put an end to insecurity in the country. Correspondent Sam Uwefu compiled this report.
It was a second summit on national peace security put together by the Nigerian Labour Congress, where past and present labor leaders blame the current crisis on bad leadership over the years, while waiting on Nigerian president to break the silence on the way forward over senseless killings of Nigerians. The NLC president says time is running out.
We are concerned at the plan to relocate the United States of America African Command from Germany to Nigeria. While we welcome intelligence sharing and ammunition support to our armed forces, we warn that it will be counterproductive to replace our Nigerian soldiers with foreign boots. Our armed forces are capable of bringing this insurgency to an end if they are better armed, equipped, and modern technology and adequate motivation is deployed.
He blamed the killings, abduction of students, and worsening insecurity in Kaduna State on the sack of over 350 workers by Kaduna State government.
We call on the governor to rescind this decision urgently, and as all of us are aware, we have already slated 5 days of withdrawal of complete services in Kaduna State.
Speaking on the theme of the summit tagged Overcoming the Siege of Insecurity in Nigeria, Imperatives of Human and Physical Security, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the former Senate President warns against blame game.
But my prayer that at the end of this particular meeting, some issues would have been interrogated and eventually we will find solutions to them.
Even if we had all replacement in the world, we cannot win the defeat of this so-called unknown government if we are not all involved in chasing them away.
The SGF pledged implementation of the recommendations of the summit attended by representatives of the service chiefs.
Now, the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Second,